G'day. We're into the story where Jesus walks on the water. And it's a story that's told in three of the Gospels, and a lot of people know it. And Peter gets out of the boat to walk on the water with Jesus. It's a story about two things. It's a story about God who comes looking for us. And it's a story about how we respond when everything's going to pieces in our lives and the fertilizer is in the ventilator, and that's when we recognize God. Now, Jesus' life is a lot like ours. It's got its ups and downs. Things get kind of crazy. So at the time of this story, his good friend and cousin, John the Baptist, has just been arrested, imprisoned, and beheaded. Ghastly. But then all these people come to Jesus looking for help. And he feeds thousands of them. There's this joyful, generous miracle that happens. And he needs some time out just to get his head together, to pray and take it easy. So he says, look, I'm going to find a quiet place. You guys get in the boat and head across the lake. I'll catch up with you. And so they do. Now, what happens next is actually not the first time they've experienced what goes on. You see, if you recall, not too long before, they had been caught probably in the same boat, well, metaphorically in the same boat, in a storm. But on that occasion, Jesus had been with them. He'd been asleep in the back of the boat. And the storm comes, it all goes nuts, and they go, Jesus, wake up, the boat's sinking, we're going to drown, you don't even seem to care, do something. And of course, Jesus, on that occasion, woke up, calmed the storm. Now, on this occasion, in the wee small hours, sure enough, they're back out on the lake, and there's another big storm. And a statistical survey indicates that 11 out of 12 disciples have not learned any lessons in the meantime because they're all freaking out once again. And I'm trying to imagine what's going on inside the boat. You've got maybe I don't know, John, he's got the slack flare out. He's trying to read the instructions. Which end do I hit? How does this thing go off? And Andrew's probably saying, please don't do that. You're going to burn a hole in the bottom of the boat. Thomas is getting under his seat. He's got the life jacket out of its plastic wrapper. Does this bit go over my head? Does this tie at the front or the back? How does this work? And maybe Simon the Zealot's trying to read the EPIRB instructions and set that off. But Peter looks outside the boat and he sees Jesus walking toward them on the water. He's the one who looks outside, and he sees that even in the midst of this chaos and this danger and this crazy time, here is Jesus coming looking for him. And something in him says, as crazy and as nuts as this all is, I'll be better off close to Jesus. I'd be safer with him. And he says, Jesus, if that's you, call me. He uses language that's the same as that earlier story. He says, Lord, Master, the one who is in control, the one who can sort this stuff out. If it's you, command me. In the same way that you commanded the storm once before, tell me to come to you. And Jesus says, mate, it's me. And he holds out his hand, and Peter goes out to him. Now, what happens next is not necessarily important to this part of the story. But Peter knows that this is God who loves him and comes looking for him. And he recognizes him and he responds. So the question for us is this. Are we looking for God when it's, like this morning, down at the beach, the sun's coming up, the whales are going by, everything's nice. I recognize God when life is good. Yeah. But what about when life starts burning in the top left-hand corner? When the hurdy-gurdy's just going around and it's crazy hectic? Can I look and recognize God who comes looking for me then? And know that no matter how nuts this is, salvation is not under my seat. It's not in the life jacket. I will be better off close to Jesus. Will I reach out and take his hand? Will you trust him? Will you recognize him in the hard points of life as well as the good points? We live our lives together, the ups and downs. We know that in our faith community, and you'd be welcome to join us. It's Bells. Our website is bells.org.au. We get together for dinner Sunday evening, 5 o'clock each week at Unity College in Caloundra. Bring something to share. We always share a meal if you can. If you're in the neighbourhood, you'd be welcome.